I come out here to help out with the horses, and I like being part of the horse community up here and getting to see a different side, because I do work on the training show horses side, and so it's nice to come out and actually help the horses that are being abused. Yeah, so every week, if you're a barn leader, you choose one day a week, and then you're going to go out there and you're going to run a volunteer day. And on that day, you're in charge of cleaning the barn and feeding the horses and doing whatever they need, giving them medication. And you are supposed to run the barn for that time. And so you have volunteers come out. And the barn is completely volunteer ran. And so there's 3 days a week. It's Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday. And that's when we have people come out and help us get all of the jobs done out here, because other days there's just going to be one person. Mucking stalls, feeding the horses, giving medication, taking them out.
And depending on like how dirty the barn is, mucking the stalls can take a really long time. We have anywhere from like 15 to 25, I think, horses at a time. So we clean the stalls that are in here and just kind of keep the barn together, take all the poop out, refill everything, and make sure that there's nothing in their stalls. Everybody gets supplements.
We get some government funding to pay for the medication that the horses get.
And our government funding depends in part on how much volunteer support we're able to get. And we don't generally, as barn leaders, we're kind of supposed to like help people interact with the horses and learn about rescues and the type of care and attention and they need, and the medications, and as well as like taking care of the land here, which is something that's kind of intense. So
yeah, safety is like the number one thing that we're supposed to be doing. So a lot of the times we don't actually have any volunteers, so we end up doing all the work. But typically the role of a barn leader is that you're supposed to oversee all of your volunteers and make sure that everyone stays safe and make sure all the horses are safe. And so we're supposed to be looking at how the horses are interacting with each other and making sure there's no dangerous or angry interactions going on. We get horses that have been beaten with bats. We get horses that are wild, horses that have been thrown out of a car and
or left in a pasture for years,
or locked up in a dark stall and are never like taken out, and so then when we go in and get them, their feces are up to their knees, and so a lot of
emotional recovery.
So they are very scared, and some of them will kick at you, and it can be a dangerous job, which is why we typically, like when a horse comes in, we quarantine them. And what we have to do as barn leaders is working with Amy, the woman who owns the barn, and trying to get to know the horse and figure out what that horse needs, and then facilitating and interacting with all the volunteers and trying to socialize it.
I feel like I love it here so much, and it's almost entirely rewarding. The only thing, I mean, it's hard work and it takes consistency, but it's like totally worth it. I mean, being able to watch horses go through transformations is like incredible. I mean, we just got a horse here, Amelia, a couple of weeks ago, 3 weeks.
3 weeks ago.
And she was terrified of humans, was hiding in the back of her stall.
We couldn't even go in with her.
Yeah, she was just really afraid. And like with the daily interaction that she gets with people that like know that she's been abused and care about her and her like emotions, she's made like a complete transformation. And I've seen so many of those. I mean, with almost every horse since I've been here, all of the new horses we get, I mean, they're completely different within a couple of months. They're healthy, they're friendly, and they like can get along better with other horses and people, which makes them more like adoptable, which is also really important about working here, is like taking horses that were abused and neglected by people and giving them to loving homes once they're ready for that, which is super cool. And we always like miss them and stuff, but it's better that they're got a permanent home.
Yeah, so we've actually also sent horses to therapy barns, and so while we're taking horses in and rehabbing them and trying to make them happy and healthy, then we're able to, we've done it with a few horses just this year. We get to put those horses back out and they do good, and so they're letting kids with autism and with all sorts of disabilities ride them and working on therapy with the kids. a lot of the times we do end up having horses for a few years, and it's really special to, as Maggie was saying, see them every week and getting to watch their transformation. And then they come in so beat up and heartbroken and sad, and then when we're finally able to send them to a new home, it's a really special thing to see.